see you.
Hi, Courtney.
Gonna wave at some people, send you a wave. Stay with us. We're going to talk about food addiction. You want to put any questions down below about food addiction, you can do that. A little bit about our guest today, Jeanette D'Onofrio, has been on a raw vegan lifestyle over 10 years. Puts out a lot of content to her fans and followers on her Ms.FitVegan Instagram page, and has many followers there, and has played a big part in the Woodstock Fruit Festival over the last few years, which has been one of the main speakers, some kind of a manager role there, and is maybe going to help make it happen again this year or next year, whenever it happens. And she will be talking to us about food addiction today. Jeanette, is there anything else you want to say about yourself before we get going?
No, that was really good. And Woodstock Fruit Festival, we're in negotiations as we speak. So I have another call today at 7. So we're trying to make it happen this year. So keep you posted, Ronnie.
Wow, that's good. And Courtney says, love you both. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for positive comments. Any comments or questions, people, feel free to get involved and add your comments below.
Ronnie, I'm just gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're mostly going to be talking about food addiction. Hello, everyone. We're talking about food addiction. So, I guess the first question is, some people would say that food addiction doesn't exist. What's your answer to that? Do you have any evidence on food addiction existing? What's your thoughts on it?
Are you one of those people?
No, not
okay.
necessarily.
No, because, I know During Writer and I guess Freely, and some people say that it doesn't exist. Because when you start eating raw, then you get rid of your food addiction. It's not true. My evidence is that, well, before I went raw, I couldn't stop eating. I was overweight and I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop eating chocolate and sugar and cakes and all the stuff, fried food. And then when I went raw, I couldn't stop eating dates and cacao and cashew butter and almond butter with, in dates with cacao nibs on top. And I was just eating so much. And it was raw food. I couldn't stop. So I knew that there were, I was losing weight and I was feeling better, but I was still overeating, and I couldn't understand it until I started working on my food addiction and why I was eating so much and why I was using food as medicine. So yeah, you can even have a food addiction as a raw vegan, and I've had it. I'm proof. And so there's my, I don't know, that's my proof.
Do you know why? Why do we experience food addiction?
Yeah, because every single person chooses a way to deal with life. And some of us are not shown healthy ways to deal with life, like expressing our emotions. Maybe if you want to do journaling, or you want to do yoga, or you want to have a deep breathing meditation practice, you've got to get a healthy habit to help you deal with the stress of life. And whether you are in a successful season of your life or an unsuccessful season, you're still going to have stress. Always. So you got to learn how to deal with it, not using food. A lot of us use food, especially women, I've noticed, to deal with stress and life, and because it's the most socially acceptable addiction, especially because of that, okay? It's more socially acceptable than alcoholism, but some people use alcohol, some people use cigarettes, some people use drugs, some people use sex, some people use Instagram, some people use all these other modalities to deal with life and stress. And I specialize in working with women that use food. And Shawnette, Ms.FitVegan, she was in my course. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate you. She was in one of my first courses.
Yes. So if people do have food addictions, what would be some of the symptoms of having a food addiction? What are some of the negative side effects that someone could experience?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you feel that food is like ruining your life and you just have zero control, that's a sign of a food addiction. When you've been going off and on diets and you just cannot seem to stick to one long enough to see results, that's a sign. And then, I speak to people all the time. They really are emotionally eating. They don't have a food addiction, because emotional eating is when you eat when you're feeling sad or when you're feeling stressed or anxiety. But a food addiction is you're just like using food no matter what, no matter what you feel. You're just using food to cope with life, almost like, an addict uses a drug. It's our drug of choice. And people, unless you've had a food addiction, you can't really understand it. Because of my roommate, she can't understand me. She can't understand that I can't have dates in the house. If I have a big box of dates in the house, when I'm feeling stressed one night, if I haven't eaten enough during the day, enough calories from fruit, I might start eating those dates if I'm feeling stressed or anxiety or whatever. So she can't get that. So yeah, those are some signs when food is like it's the main source of unhappiness in your life. Yeah.
What do you think are some addictive foods on a raw food diet?
Yeah, definitely dried fruit. I mean, everybody has their trigger foods, you know. So like for me, it's cashews, um, you know, any type of chocolate products. I mean, now I'm fine. Now it's fine. But for years, I couldn't have it in the house without eating it. Okay. So dried fruit, cacao, and nut butters, and nuts in general, you know, they're very high calorically dense, and it's not our fault that we were designed to seek out high calorically dense foods. That's why we got to have the fruit in the house. We got to prepare for this and not just like, if you know you have a problem with some food, you got to get it out of your house. And you also have to work on yourself. And that's why I'm doing this course, because people don't realize that it takes some mental work to break free from a food addiction. It's not just the food, it's 50% the food, 50% your mental. And when people like Durian Riders say that a food addiction doesn't exist, I know for a fact that he's never had one. He's never had one. Men usually use sex as their form of how to deal with stress, and women usually use food in general. In general, do you experience this, Ronnie?
Well, I don't think there's that many men that can use sex, have that much access to sex that they can use it as
Well,
much as food.
they try.
Like you can.
They try.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I don't know, but I think that obviously there's all sorts of other addictions, cigarettes, alcohol. Maybe for men, maybe alcohol more than food. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
yeah, for sure.
drug.
Women use it more than men, I found. That's why I work with women, and it's a very safe space that you're not going to feel judged. And well, we start on Saturday, and I have one spot left, Ronnie. I have one spot left for my food addiction freedom course. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that if you're struggling, if you've tried to go raw, if you've tried to stop eating this crap that you don't want to eat, you see, that's the sign of a food addiction. When you're eating food you don't want to eat, and food, and you can't stop it, and food is like, it's not pleasurable anymore. You know, now everything I eat is pleasurable. I don't have guilt afterwards. I don't feel bloated and ashamed and like mad at myself for anything that I eat now. And that's what I used to do for 26 years. I used to eat and then be so upset with myself. And I know a lot of women are still dealing with that, and so I want to help you, and I do have one spot left, so send me an
Okay,
yeah, sorry.
so why does someone need to take a course or seek coaching for food addiction?
Yeah, because we can't do everything on our own. We can't. And I tried, and trust me, I tried. And I had to seek out my own accountability and my own coaches and people that knew more than me and had more experience than me. And without my accountability group, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to Ronnie. I wouldn't have started my YouTube or done courses or written books. And the whole point of my course is to not only teach you what to do, but show you how to do it and give you accountability. So at the end of my course, you get paired with an accountability partner for life. So there's 10 women in the course, and you get paired with somebody who you're going to meet with once a week for life and hold you accountable and, you know, lift you up and speak life into you when you need somebody to help support you. And that's really important. And we can't do everything on our own. And, you know, I just found that if you seek out a mentor and people to help you, you get so much further in life. So
You've got some great comments there in the comments. Over time, the emotional eating trains our body. We have one. Someone said more women would use sex if they were having more orgasms, but that's a bad myth because the female orgasm
is that
doesn't exist.
a man who
Um,
said that?
I don't know. Porn addiction. Someone's talking about that. Yep. Can one be addicted to fruit? So Deepak's asked, can one be addicted to fruit? What's your thoughts on that?
No, because, well, if you've ever tried eating a fruit-based diet, then you would know that when you eat fruit, it is possible to overeat it, but you cannot be addicted to it. When you're addicted to something, it has control over you. And I've never, as a former food addict, I've never experienced fruit, besides dates, okay, besides dried fruit, having control over me. You know, even though I love watermelon, I love bananas, I love mangoes, I'm not like if I don't have a mango today, I'm not going to be okay. You know, like I'm craving a mango. Like, yeah, it'd be great to have mangoes right now, but I'm not stressed about it. It's not ruining my life to not have mangoes. I'm not obsessed with mangoes. I mean, yeah, I'm obsessed with watermelon, but like that's just for fun, you know? Like I don't need to have watermelon every day. When you have a food addiction, you need to have that sugar fix, that coffee, that chocolate. You need to have that white sugar, that processed food. And you clearly asking about fruit addiction, it's interesting, but like if somebody asks this question, they've never tried a fruit-based diet because it sets you free from the addiction that is ruining your self-esteem and your health and your body and your life. Honestly, addiction ruins your life. And that's why I feel so strongly about helping women overcome this. Thank you for the questions, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, there's some good questions here, and someone said support is infinite outlaw. Thank you. Support is important, but it's up to the individual to quit. And one can be addicted to anything if they feel they can't live or function without it. I agree with you, Jeanette, but I don't believe that people can be addicted to fruit. I don't think people can be addicted to bananas, apples, grapes. You know, and I think there might be certain things people can be addicted to, maybe, but in terms of the basic fruits, I don't believe that it's possible to be addicted to them. I've just never had that experience of, like you're saying, getting to the end of the day and going, I can't finish this day without having, you know, watermelon, apples, blueberries. Like I have to have that, and I've had that with other foods, which is what you're describing, where you're just like, I can't go a day without this food. Like I need to go and get that because whatever.
Yeah, there are healthy, I just want to say real quick, Ronnie, there are healthy addictions. Okay, so for example, let's talk about like, okay, yoga. I would consider myself addicted to yoga, but if I miss a day of yoga, it's not ruining, I'm not like distraught, I'm not shaking, I'm not super like stressed about it, and I feel like I love to do it, and I love to eat fruit, and I love to go into nature, but that's a bonus to my life. It's not ruining my life. You see, a food addiction can ruin your life.
Yeah, but that is one of the, I think that's one of the classic kind of definitions of addiction as well, is there has to be an element of there is a negative side effect that you're aware of, that you're unable, like you're doing this thing despite the fact of the negative side effects. So if you were going to yoga and it was causing you like pain and suffering all the time and you couldn't stop going, then that's an addiction. But going to yoga because you love it so much and it benefits your life and you love the environment, you wouldn't call that an addiction. You'd call that like a positive part of your routine in life, basically.
Yes, you hit it on the head, Ronnie. When it negatively affects your life. You see, food is not supposed to negatively affect your life. And so many people watching this have a food addiction and they don't even know it. Because if you're suffering, if you're overweight, if you have acne, if you're yo-yo dieting, okay, if you're like not happy with the food you're eating, well, then you possibly have a food addiction. And you need to address it because awareness is the first step of healing. And then you need to figure out what to eat, how to eat, you know, and that's what I'm teaching in my course. 50% the how and the what, and then 50% of the, you know, the mind. It's all about the mind. Okay.
You have a question from Volha Shatternick. Is cold pressed oil okay?
No, I don't eat processed foods. Oil's a processed food. I only eat things that I can find in nature, fruit and veggies, some nuts and seeds sometimes, but I eat a fruit-based diet because I believe that that is how we're going to thrive as human beings, eating what we can eat raw. And I don't see oil in nature, so I personally don't use oil. By the way, it makes me break out, so I know it's not for me. Oil, cacao, and agave are the raw things that make me break out immediately, so I know it's not for human. It's not for me. It's not for this human. Good question.
Deepak's saying, I'm addicted to cashews, though more than any other nut or fat. Can't just eat one. Gotta have the whole pack. So end up never buying it, being the out of sight, out of mind kind of guy. Any advice for Deepak there?
Yeah, I was the same way. And then I read The Pleasure Trap, and then I understood that, like, as humans, we were designed back in the day, as soon as we found a high calorically dense food, we ate it all. So like that's why it's very hard to eat a fourth of an avocado. You know, it's a high calorically dense food and you want to eat the whole thing, but you don't really feel great afterwards. And so, yeah, I do the same thing. My trick, because, you know, I'm a former food addict. So my trick is that if I want to make something with cashews or pistachios in it, I will buy the amount that I need for the recipe. I won't buy a big bag anymore. I'll buy the amount I need. And that's how I control my food addiction, because it's always there. It's always in the parking lot doing push-ups, like they say. And I gotta be mindful of that. And so dates too. I have small containers of dates. I have dates in my house, small containers. I don't buy big fucking boxes anymore, because I used to do that and I used to eat them all. And I didn't feel good. And I was raw. Okay, so there's a way to be an unhealthy raw vegan, and that's what I'm teaching people in my course starting this Saturday. By the way, if you're interested in finding more information about the course, send me a DM here on Instagram. I am ready. If you put the words "I am ready" in your DM, I'll get back to you right away. And if you're on YouTube watching this, send me an email. I'll leave my email below. Send me an email with the words "I am ready," and I'll send you the information.
So Vol has said, I love chili cashews. I wonder how many people in the comments can't stop eating cashews when they start eating them.
Do you ever eat? When's the last time you had cashews, Ronnie?
Quite a long time ago. I have my problem nut is pistachios more than cashews. So, but I've had no nuts for like 3-4 months. Zero nuts.
Yes, yeah. I mean, cashews are like very, very dangerous. And the thing is that if you can handle them, if you can have a few, then do it, boo. But if you're like me, and I can't have a few, and I'll just eat them and then I'll crave them the next day. And so I know that they're not exactly human food. Human food is food that you can eat until full, and then you feel good, you feel satisfied, and you don't crave it. You don't feel like, oh, I just want some more, and you can't control yourself. That's probably not a health food for you.
So Fruity Warrior says, are olives a good choice? I don't consume oil. My stomach feels heavy when I consume oil.
Are olives a good choice? I don't consume oil. My stomach feels heavy when I consume oil. Yeah. Yeah. Oil for sure. No. Olives. Yeah. I mean, I don't consume olives because they're always in oil, and it's like and salt, and it's like very hard to find. Like I've never really had a high quality saltless, oilless olive. So Ronnie, what do you think about olives?
I've never had that either,
Yeah.
and I've heard people say you can't eat them without salt. Like they're impossible to eat. Like people basically say you cannot eat them without them being salted. They are too bitter. So
Not human
I've never
food.
tried.
Not human
Yeah,
food.
I've seen them on trees, but I never tried them.
Mm.
It's a once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If I went to back to eating standard American food, okay, there's a McDonald's across the street from where I live. If I went back to McDonald's eating French fries and things, I would go right back to being a food addict. I would gain easily 100 pounds, easy, because that's just my body type and in my genetics. My family's overweight, and that's just like why I stick to a raw vegan diet, because I want the body of my dreams. I want the health of my dreams. I want to have energy. I want beautiful skin. I want to feel good. And so I don't go back to eating that food. You got to make a decision. You see, if you don't make a decision, you're going to get what life gives you. And life's going to give you an unhealthy body if you just don't make a decision and you unconsciously just eat whatever you want. You got to decide, okay, what do I want and what do I got to eat to get it? And I found the diet that works for me and hundreds of thousands of people out there. And it's worked for every single one of my clients to reverse diseases, lose weight, clear their skin, lift depression and all types, and heal their food addiction. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
So do you think that cooked food is generally addictive? Can a person who wants to experience like the highest levels of health, can they include cooked food in their diet? Or how do they do that? Or how much? Or is it possible to limit it? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Depends on the person, Ronnie, because I know lots of people that are happy and healthy and thriving, look amazing, feel amazing, and they eat cooked food. Well, personally, I can't do that. And by the way, those people, though, they do have some health issues. They just look really good and they seem like they're thriving, but they do have health issues. Me personally, I can't do it. I tried to do it. I had to go raw, and now I love being raw, but I had to change my diet. Cooked food is just way too addictive. And you know it's addictive because most people can't even fathom living without it. And that's how you know it is the #1 addiction in the world. And I have seen a major difference in my life, in my health, in my body, in my mental health, and just by giving up the cooked food. Okay, so like, yeah, sweet potatoes. If you want a sweet potato in your salad, okay, fine. But if you want a Beyond Beef burger, that's, you know, a problem. That's a major problem. So like, I think there's levels to this. Not everybody wants to be raw. And in my course, you don't have to be raw, but you have to be healthy. You got to eat healthy if you want to be healthy. So if people are eating sweet potatoes, you can be very healthy. If people are eating Beyond Beef, Dunkin' Donuts, vegan donuts and stuff, you know, like if they're eating vegan junk food, you're not going to be able to be healthy. So I do know people that can eat cooked food. I do, but it's healthy cooked food. And that's kind of like hard because there's like once you start eating that cooked food, then you go into like the junk food and then there's no like more boundaries and then you just go back to being unhealthy. So it depends on the person.
Yeah, for sure. Someone said in below, you can treat them with ashes, legia, they call it here. Could you tell us what you mean by that? Because I'm wondering if it's what I've heard about. Anything's talking about olives. Is it olives you were talking about, or is it cooked food or addictions or what? Anyway, I've ate olives from the tree. The ones that fell from the tree are dehydrated in the
Whoa.
ground. Okay, maybe they are.
Whoa. Next
Do
level.
you do you think some people have more of an addictive personality than others to food, social media, etc., so they find it harder to say no?
Yeah, Deepak, these are great questions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a very addictive personality. Listen, the truth is my parents, they met in AA. Okay, so my parents were both alcoholics. So there might be some genetic predisposition to being a addict in some sort. I think that if I didn't find the raw vegan diet, I might have stuck with food, but I might have gone into alcohol or drugs or some type of other addiction to deal with, you know, the things I didn't want to deal with. And that's what I help women do, to actually acknowledge and deal with those things and release them and let them go. You know, all these things that we've been through in our life and all these feelings we don't want to feel, we're stuffing them down with food. And so I think that if you have an addictive personality, it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help you, but it's very possible to thrive and move that addiction in another way. So for example, now I'm addicted to producing content. I release at least 2 or 3 podcasts a day, 2 or 3 YouTube videos a day, lots of content on Instagram. And so that's where I have utilized my addictive personality to work for me and help me to make a living, working for myself, you know, having the life I want. And so you can use your personality, your addictive personality. And a great book, Deepak, or anybody watching, there's a book called Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. Ronnie, have you read this book?
No, I've heard of it.
A great book for anybody out there that has an addictive, obsessive personality, because you can use it. You can utilize that, and you got to use your personality to your advantage in life, and instead of like hurting yourself with it, because I can easily hurt myself with my addictive personality. So that's my answer to that.
So someone's asked, why does someone doing a fruitarian diet without avocado or fat gain weight?
Why does someone doing a fruitarian diet without avocado or fats gain weight? Many follow-up questions. One, how long have you been doing that? Do you exercise at all? And yeah, what's your lifestyle like? Because do you just sit at a desk all day and eat fruit and eat bananas and dates and dried fruit? Because you can gain weight. Sure, calories matter. But I wanted to say that I don't think you've been doing it a long time. And probably what's happening is that you're not, sorry, my light keeps going on and off. Let me just shut it off. You're probably not sticking to it long enough. And then because you're hungry, because you're not getting the calories, probably, and then you're binging, I'm thinking, on cooked food or something. Like, this is my first thoughts. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like, it's hard to go a long time, in my opinion, for people to be on a fruit diet with no fat at all, okay? And then like not eat cooked food. You let me know, Boo. Are you, because I don't know. Okay, why does someone?
Yeah, I mean, I would say to people that you there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to gain weight or be at the weight that you want to be at on a raw food diet. But if you want to ask about obesity and weight issues in general, if you go to the average person who is overweight or who is obese, you will generally find that fruit is not a large part of their diet. And I'm not trying to say that to be accusing anyone or whatever, but you won't find fruit and vegetables to be the problem for most people when it comes to weight. But
Right.
um, anyway, we'll keep going. So is food addiction and binge eating kind of the same thing?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it usually is accompanied by that. Yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, because otherwise you don't. It's not really ruining your life. If you can just eat enough and you can stop when you're full, you don't have a problem. But that's the problem. We can't stop when we're full. And Courtney had a great question. She says, "What if you're addicted to overeating anything and everything?" Well, there's things you're not dealing with, my boo. And you've got to get to that root cause, like the root, the core of the problem. You see, we're always trying to focus on the food. And honestly, Ronnie, that's the problem. We're not focusing on it's like we're focusing on the Band-Aid, not what's underneath the Band-Aid. Why are you using food? What are you running away from? What don't you want to feel? What don't you want to think about? What don't you want to talk about? That's what we do in my course. Okay, so anybody out there that is like, I don't understand why I'm like, I know everything to do. I know about the raw vegan diet. I have all the books. I've taken all these classes. I've watched all of Ronnie's videos and I know what to do, but I can't do it. And I keep eating things that I don't want to eat. Well, that's because you're not dealing with things you don't want to deal with. And nobody wants to deal with them. That's why there's so many addictions. That's why there's so many overweight people. That's why there's so many miserable people in the world. But we got to do the hard work to get the life we want. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So that's what I would say.
So are you to some degree saying that there's like a emotional thing of like stress, underlying stress people aren't dealing with? I don't know, trauma, stuff like that, emotional stuff that people are not confronting, and that's the reason for their addictive personality? Or
No.
is that what you mean?
Good
Okay.
question. No, that's not the reason for their addictive personality, because I have an addictive personality, but now I don't hurt myself. I use my addictive personality to promote the raw vegan lifestyle, to get fit, to have a life that I love. But the reason for a food addiction or using food, yes, what you just said. Yeah, trauma, low self-esteem, okay, trying to not feel. Trying to not feel. That's what I have found in all the women that I have coached since 2017 that have had a food addiction that want to go raw. They know about the raw vegan lifestyle. They're trying everything. They're doing all these cleanses. They're trying to feel good enough. They're trying to lose weight so they can finally feel fulfilled and good enough. And the truth is that doesn't work. You got to feel it first, and you got to find out, okay, why don't I feel good enough? Okay, what are these things that happened in my past that I need to deal with and talk about and share and think about and write about and journal about and seek therapy about? It's much more than just the food. Yeah, that's it, Ronnie. People are trying to feel good enough by losing weight. And, and then it doesn't happen fast enough. So they just give up and just start eating again. And there's lots of tips and tricks that I teach people, but ultimately you're going to have to do all the work. So if you're willing to work, it's going to work. But you got to find the coach that resonates with you. And if I resonate with you, then let's work together for the next 6 weeks. But, hey, if Ronnie resonates with you, I know many people that have gone to Ronnie, changed their life. Okay, Barbie, my friend Barbie, she said you changed her life. And then she took my course. And, of course, I changed her life even more. But, you helped her so much. And so whoever resonates with you online, seek them out and get a mentor, get a coach, and find out the things that they're doing that are going to help you to do what you want to do, lose weight or stop binging, things like that.
Is dealing with your food addiction a way of helping to lose weight?
Is dealing with your food addiction? Yeah, I mean, for sure. For sure. Everyone that needs to lose weight loses weight with me in my courses. I lost over 50 pounds. So now I'm 120 and my heaviest was 180. So I lost 60 pounds, and mostly it was just going raw that, I wasn't really dealing with my food addiction. I just went raw and I lost a lot of the weight. But then what happens is that I was a very unhealthy raw vegan because I was just like stuffing myself every day to the point I wasn't comfortable anymore. And like I was eating all these nuts and dried fruit and I couldn't figure out like what was wrong. Why was I still addicted to food? And it wasn't a pleasurable experience. Now I eat when I'm hungry and I stop when I'm full. And I'm so grateful that I can do that now, because I couldn't do that for years, like 30 something years. Okay. And so I know that I have broken free from my food addiction, and that really helps. And Courtney, Courtney just said, my husband thinks you're hot, Jeanette. Oh, thank you very much. what, what kind of comments do we have here?
We got a comment saying, Jeanette looks very pretty today as well. Dave, aka Zev, Dave, Zev. Ronnie looks handsome. Thanks, Dave. You always tell me that. You're always trolling me. That's a good feedback. Thanks, everyone. So
we got a
let's
question.
talk about your course.
Wait,
Okay.
sorry. Thank you, Ronnie. But we got a quick question about so many great questions. Do you guys eat fermented foods? Okay, well, I don't anymore. I'm just not attracted to them. They smell like the kimchis, they smell like farts. And like sauerkraut is not, to me, I don't like it anymore. But if you want to eat fermented foods, you can. There's nothing wrong with fermented foods. I'm sure they're part of a healthy vegan diet or raw vegan diet. You can do that. It's just not attractive to me anymore. And I think that it's important to note that we can't get too crazy. Okay, if you're craving fermented foods and you want to put some sauerkraut or something in your salad, do it. Do it, okay? Don't make mountains out of molehills. That's not the problem in your diet, okay? So have fermented foods. It's not a problem, but I just want you to know you're never going to feel satisfied from eating fermented foods. You're going to feel satisfied from eating an abundance of fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit. That's going to make you feel satisfied. Having tiny meals and including fermented foods is not going to help you with your food addiction, okay? Because you're going to still be hungry. You got to get enough calories from fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit. You're craving salt, have some vegetables. You're craving processed foods, you're not eating enough fruit. That's it. That's it. So
let's talk about your course a little bit. We got some, I don't know if we got another, anyway. Yeah, we'll talk about your course. So is it a course where a person, for example, gets access to like some materials, some videos, or is there an in-person element of it? Is it group coaching? Is it single, one-to-one? How does this actually work?
thank you so much for asking. So we start on Saturday. Saturday, we're going to do a 1-hour Zoom just to get to know each other. And then starting on Sunday, every single Sunday and Wednesday, we do a 2-hour Zoom. Okay, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a 2-hour Zoom. We start with a guided meditation. Okay, so it's me. It's not recordings. Okay, it's me and 10 women. We start with a guided meditation. Then we get into the lesson. Then we get into Q&A and also lots of exercises that we're doing together. And finally, we end with a tapping. We end every single session with a EFT tapping. Okay, and we do that every single Sunday and Wednesday for 6 weeks. We also have a private WhatsApp group. So every single person gets my phone number and I create a WhatsApp group. You can call me, you can text me anytime, any day for 6 full weeks. So I give you my 100% attention, and people call me on FaceTime. They want to eat with me. You know, they call me when they're craving foods, and I love to be there for them because I needed someone to be there for me when I was craving food, when I didn't know what to do, when I felt like it was so strong, I couldn't not give in. I couldn't not go to, you know, my big thing back in the day was coffee, okay, and sweets, okay? So like I would just crave these sweets and I didn't know what to do, and I needed someone to help me talk me down from it. And that's what I do for people now. And so it is one-on-one also, and it's in a group setting, and you get community and support from all the other women. After the 6 weeks, I schedule a one-on-one a month after it ends to see where you are, to see how you're doing, to see how I can support you even further. And the last element, okay, is you get every single thing from me. So I have 2 other courses that you're going to get: How to Be a Healthy Raw Vegan and Energy for Life. I have 5 books that you're going to get, which is a meal plan, recipe book, the Raw Vegan Beauty book, 2 other books. And then everything I've ever done, you get for free as a bonus in the course. And yeah, there's lots of other goodies and bonuses that you get. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It's a one-on-one group coaching, very intensive 6 weeks. Very intensive. And you are going to also work out with me, Ronnie. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do live workouts on Zoom, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The people that show up and work out every single day, they see major results. I had a woman in the last course. She went from a size 12 to a size 8 in 6 weeks. She fit in pants that she has not fit in for like 20 years. So yeah, it's really powerful. I have people that are dealing with, you know, diagnoses of diseases. I have people that are dealing with diabetes. I have people that are dealing with, you know, they have 100 pounds to lose, people that have 20 pounds to lose. So it's all types of people. And it's been really a big blessing to me, Ronnie. Honestly, I'm very grateful that I get to do this for a living.
Yeah, so that's a lot that you're offering there.
Yeah.
People can literally call you anytime, all the live sessions, the group. So that's a lot of support.
It's a lot more too that if you send me an email, jd@Ms.FitVegan.com, I'll send you all the details. There's actually a lot more involved too. Like I send you videos every day. I send you voice notes every day. We have recipes, over 500 recipes I send you. So send me an email. I'll send you all the details.
We had this question here. I don't know if you can see that pop up. What do you do for omegas? Which B12 sup do you take? Any other sups?
No, I don't take any supplements. Once in a while, I'll put Daily Green Boost in my smoothie. Normally, I do it when I don't have greens in the house because I like to have greens every day. So I don't worry about omegas because in the history of the human race, there's never once been an omega fatty acid deficiency. Never once. And so I don't really worry about that. The people that worry about that usually are not eating a fruit-based diet. If you eat a fruit-based diet and you eliminate the processed foods, you don't have to worry about your omegas. You don't ever have to worry about your omegas. Just like your protein, you don't have to worry about it. If you're not starving in a third world country, you don't have to worry about that. I don't take any supplements personally. I used to, and I stopped because I listened to Doug Graham, and he says, you know, if you take supplements, your body stops working properly. And I believe that. And I found that I feel better, I look better, and everything is better after I stopped with all the, like, you know, just craziness. You know, I think about people like John Kohler, and I used to be a big fan of his. But like now he's just out of control with all the supplements and all the testing and all this like craziness that we don't need. That's why I went raw, so that I can take control of my health and be as natural as possible. Why would I take all these supplements?
Yeah, he is out of control. What's happening with him?
He's lost it. He's spent too much time alone. Honestly, that's what I think. No, because seriously, we're meant to be with other people. And when you spend a lot of time alone, this is just my analysis, it's just like you drive yourself crazy. You go crazy. And I've experienced this in my own life in certain times where, like, you know, I work alone. I spend a lot of time alone, and like you just start to drive yourself crazy. And then you do all these testing. That's the problem. He's been testing his blood for, you know, every few months for years. Of course you're going to get deficient if you take blood out of your body every few months for 20 years. Okay, that's just my personal opinion and what I've seen in the raw food movement. All the people that test constantly, they get deficient. And so I take a blood test. Listen, I took one after 9 years being raw, okay? Like, I don't want to take another one unless I'm sick or something, but my blood test is perfect. And I don't feel the need to supplement at all. The B12 thing, let's not even get into that, Ronnie. Not even, you know, that's the big thing, the B12. But like, I think it's a farce. I got to tell you.
Yeah. So John, but there's a question here. Some watermelons make me feel sick for a few minutes after eating. Have either of you experienced this from watermelon?
Sick, no, but I have felt, I felt something when I eat seedless watermelon sometimes. I don't do it anymore. I don't really like to eat seedless because, yeah, I felt like kind of like bloated or like just not comfortable eating too much seedless watermelon. So I'd recommend you do whatever it takes to find seeded and only eat watermelon in watermelon season, May through September. You're going to find the best watermelons. You're going to find seeded. And if you can't find seeded, then find the best ones you can. And you don't eat too much. And yeah, I felt something, not sick, but do you agree, Ronnie? You felt something?
Well, I wonder if they're talking about melon belly and different things that people can feel uncomfortable after eating watermelon or different melons. Maybe they've got an allergy to it, but I think that whenever people say I eat fruit and then I don't feel that good after it, or I feel pain, or I feel sick, or I feel anything like that, the first question is, could it be melon belly, which is just like if you slow down with
Yeah.
eating melons, just slow down. You can't wolf them down. There's certain fruits you just can't wolf it down. You have to eat it slowly. And if that makes the difference, then that's all it was, which is basically like just like gas trapped in the area and putting pressure on some of the nerves. So that's one thing that it could be. And otherwise, maybe it just doesn't agree with you. And you know, there's certain foods as well that avocado. I was sick having avocados once, I think, years ago when I wasn't used to eating them, and I had them for the first time. It made me feel a little bit sick.
Yeah.
Now I got used to eating them, and then I never felt that again. But I was at someone's house. I was at a raw foodie house, and they had stuff with like tahini and nuts and all this stuff, and I got sick. Like I don't usually have tahini and that amount of fat and things. So sometimes if you've not had something for a while, you know, it doesn't digest that well for whatever reason. But,
yeah, that happened to me this Christmas. So yeah, I think Ronnie said it right when he said you're probably eating too fast. But this happened to me on Christmas. I made raw vegan Snickers bars, and I hadn't had cacao for a very long time, for years. And I had a few, and the next day I felt so sick, I actually threw up. It was the first time I threw up in, I don't know how long, a decade or something. And I just couldn't believe, I didn't understand, what did I eat? You know, I had just a salad and a few of these raw vegan Snicker bars, and it was just dates, cacao, almond butter, and something else, like some other nut. I forgot which one, but basically, yeah, I didn't feel good. So once you stop eating something, your body immediately starts to get rid of it if it's not for you, if it's toxic. And cacao is toxic to the human body. So that's what happened. You know, my body's working properly now. So I'm grateful that I get sick when I eat things that I'm not supposed to eat. So I won't be eating that anymore.
Yeah, nice comment. I think it's Avian Junior. I think that's called melon belly. It's a mystery. I'm also very interested why it happens. The pain even radiates to the shoulders when it's strong. It happens with apples. But yeah, it can. People can feel it in the shoulders.
I've never heard of that. Wow.
Yeah,
I've never had
people
that.
can feel it in the front, in the back, and like because there's nerves that go like this, so people can feel it all the way up here and all the way. Yeah, it's a strange thing. Let me see.
I like
Deepak's
Deepak's comment, Ronnie. Let's address that. Only people that recommend supplements are the ones that are selling them, I guess. Now, that is a great comment, and that's why I don't trust certain people like medical mediums. So let me just say about him. I think he has some great information, but how can I possibly trust someone who is clearly in partnership with a supplement company? And he recommends all these supplements, like 10, 20 supplements a day. And of course, he clearly works with Vimergy. And how am I the only one that sees this? Like, I have very smart friends that are taking these supplements from him. And it's just like, wait, you're serious right now? Like really? Like, they've been raw for years. Like, I don't want to say who, but they're raw for like a very long time. And they're very smart. And I'm just like, how are you falling for this? Is it just... And the protein powder thing and the collagen powder thing. And it's like, I don't want to name names, but people are promoting these supplements. They're clearly making money. It's very obvious. I don't know, Ronnie.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that believe in supplements, and maybe it is. I mean, I personally think that a lot of the information out there that's led to people being worried about their nutrition and wanting to take supplements comes entirely from the industry of selling supplements and doesn't come from research. And there is a history in human life of dietary deficiency, and it happens in the world to this day that there are people that have there are some deficiencies that still exist in the world, but they don't generally exist in the modern developed world where we have such an access to a variety of food all the time.
And especially the raw vegan movement. Like, what are we doing?
Sure. And if you look back in history, like a lot of the deficiencies are actually, ironically, all to do with, well, maybe not all, but a lot to do with not eating fruit, because human beings are really set up for eating fruit. So when you cut fruit out and when you cut vegetables out, and when people are eating processed food and meat and grains as a primary part of their diet, or just grains, then there are nutrients that are low in those things, particularly vitamins, vitamin C, and the B vitamins and things like that. And so populations have had problems with those things, but not if you're eating fruit. Like if you're eating fruit, you're not going to have a problem with vitamin C, B vitamins, and all these kind of things.
Can I ask you a question? Because
Yeah.
you'll never stop talking. Listen, I wanted to ask you, I interviewed Ellen Livingston the other day. I needed to ask you this. I was going to ask you this anyway, but I'll ask you this live. She said that she tested herself. She got a blood test after a very long time being raw, and she is vitamin C deficient as a raw vegan. Vitamin C. Can you help me understand how this is possible?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is. I don't think she is. I don't know even what that means, because vitamin C deficient would imply that Ellen Livingston has scurvy, right? So that to me seems incredibly unlikely, and I would check the source of the test. I think, or on another point, if she would go to the doctor and say, "Can you examine me for scurvy?" is the likelihood they're going to say, "Yeah, Ellen Livingston, who's been eating primarily fruit for the last 20 years, has low vitamin C." I've I heard this is part of certain people's talks and their information, and they do coaching about deficiencies and stuff like that. I don't like that stuff. I think I think they do it with a good intention. I think they believe it, but I think I don't think it's real information that they're using, and they find these things somehow. They find tests and like what's the company making the test, and are they also supplying, as you're saying, like the supplement or the vitamins? So they've got like a reason to test people.
Good point.
So this like, but the idea that anyone in modern America has got scurvy is like so unlikely.
Yeah,
but
somebody wrote. Okay, that's a great point, Ronnie. Because always follow the money.
If you're eating French fries, you'll be getting enough vitamin. Like, it's hard to not get enough vitamin C with the way people eat today. Like, and it's been added into so many foods anyway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought to myself, if you're eating a burger and there's one slice of tomato, you're gonna get vitamin C. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about that. But somebody wrote maybe an unclean gut and malabsorption cannot get the nutrients. That's interesting. Okay, I just want to say I was interviewing her and she was lovely and amazing. She doesn't believe in colonics. Now, I do, and I am a big proponent of colonics, and I recommend every single person listening to this, if you have not gotten a colonic, here's why. Because that could be it, Ronnie. She doesn't believe in colonics, and I think she might have gotten some, but she hasn't gotten for a very long time. And what happens is when we eat unnatural processed foods, it can really not allow us to absorb the nutrients, because the mucus is lining our intestines, and the villi cannot get the nutrients from the raw foods. So this is why, Barbie, and I know you just joined, this is why I highly recommend a colonic, because it changed my life. It changed my skin. It changed my health. I was able to absorb my nutrients more and finally grow my hair and finally get clear skin and get rid of my eczema that was all over my body. I really believe colonics were a big part of my healing, because it's what you don't eat that heals you, and it's what you get out that makes you feel better and look better. Ronnie, have you ever gotten a colonic? I can't remember.
No, I'm not interested in ass-related activities, basically.
Okay,
no, but
keep that crap inside you then. Do you, boo?
No, but like people are mentioning about the gut. I don't know. It depends on where is vitamin C absorbed. You're talking about, when people are talking about the gut microbiome and these things, that's the lower intestine, which is like in which a lot of absorption doesn't really happen. Most of the absorption of nutrients some happens in the mouth, I believe, some in the stomach, but not a great deal. Some and most in the upper intestines, the smaller intestines. So I don't think there's a lot going on left over at the lower intestine or the.
But here's the issue: when you eliminate, okay, So every disease starts in the large intestines, right? And so when you get rid of the toxic, decaying fecal matter that are in the large intestines, then you can start to detox what's in the small intestines, and you can detox what's in the liver, because it's like living in a dirty bathtub. If you don't get a colonic, you're sitting in dirty water your whole life. And when you get that colonic, you take the drain out and you can flush out, and then the organs start to eliminate, and all types of, your skin starts to eliminate the toxins, your brain, your eyes, everything starts to eliminate once you get the colon cleaned. And I'm telling you, it works. I wouldn't, dude, I don't want to put something up my butt. No way. That's not a party. It's not fun, but it doesn't hurt, and it has been a big part of my healing. And if anybody wants to research, there's a guy named Gil Jacobs. He changed my life. Gil, G-I-L, Jacobs. He's not really on social media, but you can find some videos of his online. He's a colon hydrotherapist that knows, dude, he went raw vegan like 30 years ago, and he is the truth. And Mike Perrine as well, and he's Everyday Detox. And they changed my life. Colon hydrotherapy, very important if you want to be healthy, okay? Exit only, yeah. You're putting water up your butt so you can exit the toxic fecal matter that is poisoning you from the inside out. Ronnie, don't write a book about how you're going to debunk colonics, okay? Because you don't have experience. I have the experience.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to claim. I don't know much about it. I personally haven't done it, so I'm not, and I've not really researched it. You're right. So but I do think that it's, in terms of someone that is claiming to have low vitamin C or not enough vitamin C in their diet despite having a diet of fruit, like, I would question the test, but I would also say, like, why even get the test? Like, you know, and then there's people that would say, well, we can't guarantee that the foods that we're eating nowadays has certain nutrition in it. But we can be pretty guaranteed that there's vitamin C in fruits and vegetables. These things are tested all the time. I think people are very skeptical about the food system, but they are tested all the time. And if there was a lack of vitamin C in the food that we were eating, this would, you know, that would come out. Like, this would be figured out pretty quickly, because there would be a lot of people having a lot of problems if there was not vitamin C in the food supply. Like, people would be collapsing very, very quickly, and people are collapsing, but not of scurvy or vitamin C.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on there, but I would also say I'm not getting blood tests, honestly, because, like, you're not supposed to be taking blood out of your body. And I know some people will say, you know, hey, you want to get a blood test? Get it, boo. I got one last year after a very long time. But I wouldn't recommend too many. I wouldn't. It's just not normal or natural to take blood out of your body. And be careful with those blood tests.
I've never had a blood test, and I'm not that curious to get one. I'm also not curious to get the microbiome test.
No.
And I don't know if there's other types of tests, but I'm not that curious about getting them. I don't, like, I think it's maybe worthwhile doing these things, but the people that are doing them all the time, that are, even like, say you get a test today, you could get a test next week that says something totally different. You could get a test in a month that says something different. So what are you going to do? Just continue your life trying to modify everything?
Well, that's what we see in John Kohler now. That's what John Kohler's doing.
Right.
And it's like, I love him. I think he's great. He's got lots of knowledge. He's been a big pioneer in the raw food movement. But the problem is that you got to become obsessed with something else besides these tests, okay? And like, the tests are comparing you to a standard American. Well, that doesn't even make sense. The tests are not, you know, the ranges are the people that are eating McDonald's. What are we doing here? This is very crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, John, I feel with John, like, he's like the kid that doesn't play well with the other kids a little bit. And like, he was a speaker at Woodstock, you know, having all the benefits of that, getting to do presentations and all this stuff. And then a week before the event or whatever, he brings out a video saying why I wouldn't go to Woodstock or something, or like why the fruit at Woodstock's terrible or something. And you're just thinking, what kind of right-minded person would do that? And he said, I felt like I had to stick up for my fans, and be honest and say, you know, I didn't think the fruit was at the right level and whatever. And it's just, to me, it's like something that I've learned over the years is that some of the people that are hardest to accommodate at these events are long-term raw vegans that have these weird ideas of what fruit quality is and isn't. And I was there at those Woodstocks, and I was like, wow, this is like the best ever for food. And there was like, there was like unlimited
Yeah.
jackfruits going out. There was like durian parties. There was everything. There was really great
Figs.
figs. I remember that.
The figs
Really
are
great figs.
off the chain.
Banana ice cream and all that stuff. And John Kohler's like, the fruit isn't sweet enough, doesn't pass my bricks test.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah. For those of you that don't
then?
know, for those of you guys watching, he brought like a machine and he tested every single fruit. And then afterwards, you know, he posted this video saying that some of the fruit wasn't like the highest on the bricks meter. And then he got, you know, let go of as a pioneer at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. And now he wants to come back. And he's, you know, and the thing is that you're deterring the whole point of the whole thing, which is, by the way, the fruit festival is not really about fruit. I mean, yeah, there's amazing fruit, like Ronnie said, but it's about community. Who cares? I don't even notice the fruit. Like, yeah, there's really good fruit, but like I go for the people and the connections and the feeling of like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone doing this. And it's like, well, John, you missed the point. You totally missed the point. And I think he gets it now because he really wants to come back. But like,
yeah, and it's not even about the classes, activities, and lectures, even though that's great as well. It is almost entirely about the community that you get to spend time with and that experience. And that's, you know, that's not something that you can upfront. That's hard to sell to people in a sense, because people haven't experienced it or they don't get it or whatever. So there needs to be all these activities and classes and all these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people end up coming back time after time because it's just a great fun experience to be around all these cool people.
The truth is, yeah, that's absolutely true. And the truth is, you're not even really that hungry. I eat less at Woodstock Fruit Festival than I eat in my regular life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason why, I'm sure you know why, Ronnie, is because you feel so fulfilled with connection and conversation and other people that you're getting a good vibe from. And, you know, people are hugging you and you're getting the things that you need from other people. And so this is also why we are dealing with food addiction so prevalent in 2023, because we're not getting the things we need. We need touch, we need connection, we need feeling passionate about life, we need to do things we love, we need to go do hard things and push ourselves and you know, feel like we're getting things out of life that, you know, dopamine hits, you know, things that are enjoyable, not just food.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything as well. Like if you were a porn addict and you went to Woodstock and you're a raw vegan and you kind of want to fit in with it or whatever, like you won't watch any porn at Woodstock. You won't take any. Well, I wouldn't say drugs. There's people that still want to take drugs there or whatever. But if you're really fully in the experience and immersed in it, then all of these different bad behaviors just go away for a while, because that's ultimately what we're craving above everything. And the social media thing, like you're not going to be scrolling on social media. You know, you're going to be living in social media. Like you're going to be looking around like every moment. It's like, look at that cool thing happening. Look at this, music's popping up, dancing happening, stuff, great conversations. You know, going out to amazing wilderness and whatever. So, you know, it is what we're all craving. It's absolutely what we are totally lacking in the way the world's set up, and that's just, you know, the way it is. But
life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. And the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and let's answer, because somebody misquoted me in the comments, and we'll answer that in a minute, okay? But I just want you guys to know that some people come to Woodstock. I've been helping to run it for 5 years now. Well, 4 years. We didn't have it 1 year, 2020. But I just want you guys to know that some people come to Woodstock and they hate it. They have the worst time ever. And some people come and it's the best time ever. How is this possible? It changed their life, like Ronnie and me. It changed our life. Now, how is this possible that some people hate it and some, because you are wherever you go. Wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are. That's the quote, right? And so you are making your life what it is. It's the mind game, okay? If you're seeing things wrong everywhere with yourself, with others, which is what I think John Kohler does. He sees what's wrong and he's trying to fix it. Well, wherever you go,
Yeah.
there you are. And the Woodstock Fruit Festival, I'm looking at, okay, wow, unlimited sugarcane juice. Are you kidding me? Like, I get to like not worry about food for a week. I don't have to do dishes for a week. I get to just enjoy my life and breathe in this beautiful, clean air and like be around all these people eating fruit. Like, how blessed. It's like Disney World. And if you see those things for what they are, you see the good, well, then you're going to feel better. You're going to be more grateful and happy, and you're going to have a better time. But if you see what's wrong in life and with your body and with your, you know, relationships and everything, well, you're going to find more things to complain about. You got to get control of your mind, everybody. And I want to say, all for raw. Okay. You see this comment, Ronnie?
I think,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, but I do think sometimes people that don't enjoy it, yeah, there'll be people that don't enjoy it, but there's a part of it, like, there are people that, to me, that's a reflection of them a little
Absolutely.
bit, or a reflection of their expectations, or a reflection of something. I don't know exactly. And when you know, there's people as well who went to the festivals in Europe and they would say, oh, Woodstock's too big, or too many people, or too much going on, or whatever. And I never felt it was too big or too many people. And I'm like an introvert mostly person, and I think that for me at Woodstock, you kind of, if you're a person that likes to hide behind and like, I don't know, like you're comfortable in a work situation, like people don't really want to get to know you, everything's very surface level. If you're happy with all that surface level stuff, and if you thrive in that, you're probably not going to like Woodstock, because people are looking for the deeper conversations, the deeper connection, and they're going to call you out and they're going to be like, yeah, I'm listening to you, but that's not really who you are. So I want to get to know you. If you're not happy with being yourself and that kind of thing, it's, you know, it's going to be uncomfortable. People come there and they bring a part of them out. It brings part of them out that they don't usually maybe share with people. And for me, I'm fairly comfortable with that. That's why I really like the experience of the place. Other people are not so comfortable with that, I think, and it can be intense for them, maybe.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying is what
Yeah.
I don't like. Listen, I don't like a lot of people, and I'm that person that you were just describing. Very uncomfortable in a chill, relaxed setting. You know, I like to work, and I'm very comfortable working, and so that's why also I love Woodstock, because it gets me out of my comfort zone. And sometimes I am in a relaxed, chill group of people, and I have to like somehow figure out how to be and yeah, there's deep conversations going on and people want to like look into your eyes and get to know you, and it's a really great place to push yourself outside your comfort zone, meet the people you're supposed to meet in this life, and it is such an incredible thing. And so Ronnie's event too, the UK Fruit Festival, exactly the same too, exactly the same people go. And so I want to address this real quick. Okay, hey Janet, can you explain who started the Woodstock Fruit Festival? I heard you say once that it was your festival. So did you start it, or are you the organizer now? Okay. I never said it was my festival. Everybody knows I never said that. Okay.
You've been caught.
People are always
You've
misquoting
been caught.
people. No. Mike Arnstein. Everybody knows Michael Arnstein started this festival, and Ann Osborne and Yulia. These are the two women that worked tirelessly for 10 years, all year, every day, to make this festival happen. And then recently Anne retired from that position, and I took Anne's position. And so now I help organize the festival. Yes, I'm looking for a new venue. Yes, I'm in charge of the volunteers, and I do a lot of things for the festival. I did the schedule last year and all these things, but I'm not the founder, and I didn't start the festival. No.
Yeah. And Michael Arnstein is and was at the time a quite successful businessman from New York that was a runner as well, got into the 80-10-10 diet through his wife, the raw vegan diet, and went to retreats and had a phenomenal experience for himself. And he was having amazing, benefits with his running, with his life. And the only thing that was a negative for him was he didn't have other people to share it with, and wasn't around other people, and wanted to get everyone together who he saw everyone was online. And that's what he did. He did an amazing job of making that happen. I think Yulia played a huge part from the very start. He found Yulia on a forum, I think, just saying, is there anyone in New York here? And she ended up they ended up meeting up, and they ended up putting on the festival together. I think she did a lot of the work,
Oh yeah.
and he
Oh
put in
yeah.
he put in a lot of the money, and yeah, and he only gave it up maybe last year or something, and over the years he was playing less and less of a role in it, and was less and less public, and the golden, what would you call it, the honeymoon period of his fruitarianism had passed maybe by then, and he'd experienced a lot of difficulties with the festival. But yeah, he's obviously very important, the founder of the festival, and he should always be remembered for
Of
that.
course. And he's a big inspiration to me, and
Mm.
he's very nice and very generous and very kind. And he's been a big inspiration to a lot of people. Look him up, everyone, Mike Arnstein, because he doesn't do social media now, but you'll find interviews of his. And he was a ultra marathoner. Okay. He ran like 100-mile races, 200-mile races as a fruitarian. And
Yeah, it's all really sad to me. Like I have a lot of emotions like around all this stuff, like because Woodstock was a big part of my life in many ways, and like I loved all that original community and all those people that they were leaders, and a lot of them have kind of disappeared and went to do their own thing,
or eating
or
meat
whatever.
now,
So, what's that? Sorry,
or they're eating
or
animal body parts
yeah.
now.
There's a few of them. Yeah, there's a few of them, or at least one of them I know. But things move on, and it can always get better. And really, the festival always got better. Really, like I never had a year where I was like, oh, it's not as good as last year. Some people would say that as well because it wasn't exactly the experience they had the year before. But you can't. It's always evolving. It's different people and same vibe really. But will we finish off just reminding people about your course and
Thank
all
you.
this?
And yeah, this year I'm definitely going to try to get people like Eli Martyr to do fitness classes. I'm going to get Jillian Berry is going to come if we have the Woodstock Fruit Festival this year. And I'm going to try my very best to get Ralph Smart. I've been trying to get him to come. And like I'm trying to get these amazing fruit-based people. So we'll see, okay? Because that's a big part of it, meeting these people.
That's a great move.
Yeah. So yes, we're excited, and hopefully I can get all these amazing people, Professor Spira, people like this. Okay. So now the last thing I want to say is, first of all, thank you everyone for being here. And if you are struggling with food addiction, if you are trying to go raw, you are really interested in the raw vegan lifestyle, if you believe that it's possible, you just don't know how, okay? But if you believe it's possible and if you're willing to do the work, then I want to work with you. I want to give you the next 6 weeks of my life. I'm going to invest 6 weeks into your life. And if you're willing to do the work, then it's going to work for you, okay? I have a food addiction freedom course. It starts on Saturday, April 1st. That's in 2 days. And if you're interested, send me an email with the words, I am ready. You can DM me here on Instagram or send me an email. My email is jd@MsFitVegan.com. I'll leave the link below if you're on YouTube watching this. And I'd love for you to join us. And I have 1 spot left. And I just want you to know, I've been getting a lot of applications, Ronnie. So I've gotten over 100 applications. I've chosen 9 women. I have 1 spot left. If you tell me in the application that, I had somebody write me today. She said, I don't think I can do this because I have COVID right now, and I also don't have a Whole Foods where I live, and I also don't have access to tropical fruit. But do you think I can do it? Here's my application attached. Delete. That's a delete. I cannot accept anyone that already comes with the excuses. If you have the vid right now, this is a great time to do it, okay? You got to get healthy. You got to increase your immunity. You got to get healthy, my boo. What in the world? And if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I won't be responding to your application. If you're sending me already excuses, I know that you can't do it. You don't have what it takes. Just continue doing it on your own until you realize that you're the one in charge. Excuses are results. You cannot have both. And if you don't get control of your mind, you can't do it. But I can help you if you don't come with the excuses. If you come with the attitude of, I'm willing to do whatever the fuck it takes, then you can do it. And trust me, if I can do it, if I can break my food addiction, if I can go raw and never relapse, Ronnie, I could talk to you all day, but I just want to say the last thing is people on Instagram are like, they're raw vegans and they're like, oh, I eat cooked food sometimes, but now I realize why I'm raw. Did you see this? Let's not name names, but there was a reel yesterday. Somebody posted about she like is a raw vegan, but she ate a big plate of like vegan processed foods or cooked foods. Did you see it? Don't say her name.
I didn't see
okay.
that. So send me in the DM or whatever.
I will. Let's not say her name, but here's the thing. She has not, that's not normal. If you're raw vegan, you're not going back to eating processed foods ever, ever. And I'm going to teach you how to break that. It's been 12 years. I have not had one bite of any processed foods ever in 12 years. How? Because I broke my food addiction. I didn't go on 150-day juice cleanses. I didn't go on water fast. I didn't do all these, you know, up and down and up and down. No, I stayed consistent. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. Have a lifestyle that's going to last you for the rest of your life. We're going to get the results slowly but surely. And you can finally break your addiction. No, it wasn't you, Courtney. It wasn't you, boo. I love you. It wasn't you. No, she's raw. This person was raw vegan, like she says, for like years. And now all of a sudden she tried cooked food. And then she felt really bad the next day. And now she knows why she's raw. But it's like, why did you even have to eat that food? What made you, you know why? Restricting, juice cleansing, water fasting. You're starving. Of course you're going to eat crappy food. You're starving. Okay, so there's no juice cleansing in my course, just so you know.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, what do I want to say? I just want to say, like, this is a message that I personally don't like in the raw food movement. If you come across this, I don't know if this will resonate with anyone. And I think Jeanette with this course is a great thing because I don't think she's talking about this stuff, but like all of that detox, and to some degree, like any kind of juicing detox, like this whole thing of like you have to clean yourself out and you need to, I don't know, restrict or all this kind of thing. Like I don't like it. I don't like the whole mentality of detox of like you've got all this stuff, you need to detox it out, and you need to eat a certain way and cut down on this and this. For me, I want you to have confidence in your body to run all those processes without you having to worry about them. So any kind of detox processes of the body are occurring by the wisdom intelligence of the body in its own sweet time. Like it's doing all the stuff, and there's never a moment you're not detoxing. Like it doesn't matter what state you're in. It's part of, you have a whole like organ called the liver. That's its entire job, I think, or one of the many jobs it has. Like every cell, every tiny cell has a detoxification process within it, I believe. So like the idea that and I'm not a fan of the mucoid plaque thing and all these other things. These things that make people get really kind of aggravated about this uncleansedness thing, this parasite thing, all this. I'm not into that. It leads to kind of restrictive behavior, and I believe that what you should be concerned about, if anything, are the very real dangers of what the standard diet can cause in terms of chronic disease, heart disease, cancer. Can take years off your life, decades off your life, 10, 20, 30, 40 years off your life, and lead you to be very unhealthy and living a very unhealthy life, increasing your chance of obesity, increasing your chance of all sorts of autoimmune disorders, digestive conditions, things that cause absolute pain and misery.
And ruining your quality of life.
Hundreds of millions of people. Yeah, and if you need another motivation, making people less attractive, making people less smart, making people like, how many other things can you add to it? So worry about those things, not like are you detoxed enough yet or what. That'll you know, you don't have to focus on that. Eat well, and once you get this diet some way right, or mostly or whatever, you don't need to get obsessed with it anymore, and you should go out and practice the other habits of health. But what most people are getting wrong is the diet, so it has to be your focus for a while. That's just the way it is. We've all been brought up in a pretty bad diet. We need to break free of that, and that's what the food addiction course, from what I can understand, is about.
Yes,
so.
And can we address All for Raw? All for Raw says, I want to agree with you, Jeanette, but people gain insight from personal experimentation. You sound closed-minded. I just want to say that I agree. People do gain insight from personal experimentation, but these people should not be teaching others how to go raw if they are still eating cooked food or craving cooked food or going up and down in their diet. That's my problem, my boo. My problem is I don't think anybody should be calling themselves a coach or an expert until they have mastered something. And I was raw for 6 years until I ever created a YouTube and an Instagram, and I started coaching people 6 years. Now I'm raw vegan 12 years. And so I consider myself an expert in being raw vegan because I have mastered it. And I don't think people out there should be telling people what to do until they've mastered it. You know, there's people out there telling people you have to go on a juice cleanse. Juice cleansing is a good idea. Water fasting is a good idea. OMAD, 1 meal a day is a good idea. Restricting, intermittent fasting is a good idea. And it's not. It's not a good idea for everyone. It doesn't work for everyone because what happens is, like Ronnie says, people get so obsessed and they restrict. And then what happens? It's obvious. The inevitable happens. You get so hungry that you start to crave processed foods and you go back to cooked food, and then you go up and down and up and down, and people are looking at you like an expert and you don't even know what you're doing. So that's what I have a problem with, okay? Because I was one of those people looking for mentors, and I found some and they led me astray, and I'm not going to say who, but I took bad advice from people in the beginning because I didn't know any better. I wish I fucking knew. I wish I knew dates and dried fruit were were not healthy. We're not something you should be making meals of.
Oh, me too. Me too. And can I say as well that, like, I went to Woodstock.
Doug is here. Hey, Doug. Sorry.
I went to Woodstock in 2012, the first time I went, and I met people there that were the same as me, just started off in this lifestyle. And some people started to make content because they were inspired, and everyone was on YouTube at the time. And people started to do YouTube channels, and some of them were taking off very quickly. And then I remember spending time with people, and they were like, "Oh, I want to do this coaching thing." And I was just thinking, wait a minute, we've only started doing this. We started doing this a couple of months ago, like, or 6 months ago. We still don't know what we're doing.
Right.
And we're going to the events to learn about it. And then, but some of them were saying, well, oh, I've been told it's quite easy. People just want to talk to you and all this. And there were so many people who were coaching people for I don't know how many years, how many thousands of people were getting advice from raw vegan coaches that didn't really know what they were doing, and probably led many people in the wrong direction. So
that's why I love people like Doug. We have people like Doug who have been doing it for so long that he's made mistakes. He knows what works. He knows what doesn't work. And that's why I look at people that have been raw for at least 10 years. I know that's a really long time, but I look at people like Doug Graham, Ann Osborne, Fred Bishi. I look at people like Paul Neeson sometimes. But those are the Fred Bishi, Doug Graham, and Ann Osborne. I think those are the three main people that I trust and I listen to, and it makes sense what they say because I know, because they're speaking from experience. And like, I agree, Ronnie, I am so scared about people that go to coaches that have only been raw for like a year, 2 years, even 5 years. They don't know yet. They don't know yet. And then somebody in the comments wrote, I eat unlimited dates every day and I feel great. Yeah, I did too for 6 years. And then I ruined my enamel. So do me a favor, boo. If you're eating dates, get a water pick, floss, take care of your teeth, brush, take care of your teeth, okay? Because I did the same thing and I felt great. And then I found out that I was really destroying my teeth. So be careful.
Yeah, me and Jeanette come from that generation of unlimited dates, and it was not a great idea. But Jeanette, I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much, Ronnie.
I need to go, but thank you very much. And everyone check out Jeanette's course, Ms.FitVegan. I think most of you are probably Jeanette's fans, not mine anyway, so you probably know what's going on. And yeah, have a good time, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Speak
Ronnie.
to you later.
Bye, guys.